What's up everyone, welcome to another episode. Today we're gonna be weighing this freshly purchased Ultegra Di2 package and the individual components. As you might know from my other videos, I recently purchased a custom-made titanium frame, so I needed a group set to build this one up. So I was keeping my eyes on some discounts on SRAM and Shimano group sets, and I found this group set being heavily discounted, and I picked it up at r2bike.com for 1,495 euros, which is still not cheap for a group set in general, but I think still a good deal when you compare it to the original retail price. So yeah, I pushed the trigger and bought it, and yeah, it arrived today. So I would say let's unbox it together and put it on the scale. Okay, so I mean, it's a massive box. Let's open it up and see how fancy it's looking inside. Whoa. Okay, I mean, I was expecting something slightly different, to be honest. I mean, I was hoping that everything's gonna be like nicely laid out with trays that you can take out and stuff like this. A little bit like the SRAM, at least the SRAM images that I know from their group sets. Here it's more like a box where somebody just threw in a bunch of other boxes. Okay, I mean, fair. So let's get all this stuff out and then let's put everything on the scale separately. Okay, so here we go. Here we got everything. So yeah, you kind of get an idea of how many parts are in the box. And now let's weigh them one by one. So we're gonna start with the biggest item being the crankset. So let me open up the box and let's get the crankset out. All right, let's put that aside. Okay, so just the crank arm. We're at 196.4. The big crank with the chain rings. 512.4 together with the other crank arm as a set. 708.9 grams. And not to forget, and is the end cap. So, complete weight, 712.3 grams. Next items on the list are gonna be the brake levers. So let's unbox these. This one is the rear one. Look at all this nice packaging. We got the shifter. First time I'm having it in my hand. Actually, it looks quite nice. The buttons have a little bit more of a tighter click, more defined click than the dry group set that I have. So let's put this one on. So this is the right one, 201.9 grams. Maybe before we put on the brakes, let's get the other one out as well. The left-hand one is 202.3 grams, both together 404.3 grams for the shifters. Now we can unbox the brakes. I actually like that there's no plastic, everything's nicely packed in paper. So this is the front brake with the cable attached, 166.9. This is the rear brake with the obviously longer cable. That is interesting. Oh yeah, it's 166.8, so it is 0.1 gram lighter. I was just wondering why that is, but of course here we have the adapter plate. So even though we have a shorter cable, we have the heavy metal adapter plate. And let's now put both on here. We are at 333.8 grams. All right, next up, rear derailleur. So let's unbox this one. Looking quite good. So let's put on here 261.3 grams. Nice. Front derailleur. So wow, this one looks really tiny in comparison to my old Dura-Ace Di2 front derailleur. So really nice. Let's see. 111.1 gram, 111. Next exciting item is gonna be the cassette. So let's do the quick unboxing here as well. All right, so maybe I'll take the plastic thing out so we don't weigh this one, so we're as accurate as possible. Wow. So without the lock ring, 336.5, and with the lock ring, 341.7, and this is the 1134 cassette. Now, what else we have? We have two disc brake rotors. They are both actually 160 millimeters. Which is actually not the setup that I prefer. I prefer to have a 160 in the back and a 140 in the front. They obviously going to be weighing the same. So just the disc itself is 112.3, with the lock ring that belongs to it 120.2. This one is going to weigh exactly the same, as it is the same diameter. Next one up, we got the chain 12-speed CN M8100 with 116 links. So I guess we'll have to add a tiny bit of extra for the foil, but the chain itself is 259.2 grams, and we can also throw in the quick links just for the sake of completeness. 261.9 grams for the full chain, not being shortened. 261.9, yes. Okay, and now come the Di2 parts. The cables and batteries still in the old packaging, but we have the charging cable in the new packaging. Not that this matters what this weighs, because it's not part of the setup anyways, but still. It looks interesting with this 4-pin connector, still USB-B on here. Let's see, 69.8 grams. Then we have the battery. This one is important because it is part of the build. So battery itself, 52.2 grams, looking good. And now maybe the biggest heavy weight of the setup, the Di2 cables. So this one is which length? 60 millimeter length. So the shorter one is 5.9 grams, and the longer one, which is double the length, so 120 millimeters, is 12.1 gram. Oh, makes sense. It also has all these plastic bits on here to basically stop the cable from rattling around in your tubes. So yeah, that's the overall weight of the new Ultegra Di2 package and the individual components. I hope you found this informative. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button and consider subscribing for some new updates on the titanium frame where this group set is gonna be built onto, and road tested and compared to my old Jura Ace Di2 from the previous generation. So with that, as always, I thank you a lot for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.